Hi, my name is Abby O'Neill. This is our energy healing class that I'm teaching with Jim McCarthy, who's an energy healer. He's also a private consultant that helps people with any number of emotional problems and energetic and spiritual problems, from addiction to not being able to manifest what you want, to getting over childhood wounds, even to ancestral healing. This particular class is all about how to take back your power. I think we all have situations where we know that we've somehow let go of our power. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. How to hold on to our power in different situations in our life, and how to take it back if we have let it go. I just want you to know that we still have one upcoming event this year. We're going to be teaching a seminar in Ireland where we're taking a group around to all the stone circles that we know of that are probably the most powerful, the most sacred areas that we've already been to. We're going to be holding meditation at these stone circles. We stay in small hotels, and we're sort of in an area of rural Ireland that is off the tourist track. I used to live in Ireland, and the places that I know of aren't necessarily the places tourists go, but there's some very powerful ancient areas, powerful Christian areas, and also just some very cute towns and wonderful restaurants that are sort of off the beaten track. So if you're interested, please go to our new website. It's www.infinitelight.me. Also, there will be a recording of this class, and we have a new YouTube channel. And that YouTube channel can be accessed again on our website, www.infinitelight.me. We not only will have a recording of this class today, but we'll have recordings of past classes. So feel free to access them and share them with your friends. When I was
Yeah,
thinking about, yeah.
can I add one more thing?
Oh, yeah, please.
All right. And we just got back from Sedona and we're planning on doing an event in Sedona, probably in October. And it's got these very, spiritual vortexes, and it's a really beautiful place to do a lot of cleansing work and healing work. So anybody that might be interested in an event in Sedona, please just, send us an email, let us know, and we'll arrange it based on, what the interest is, and also what time we would have it based on what the interest is. So just a heads up on that.
We always try to keep fairly small groups. So be sure to get your email in, because in the Ireland trip, for example, we've just got two or three more spaces. So just let us know. We like intimate groups just because we feel the teaching, the healing, and even the transformation can be really profound. So the topic today, how to take back your power. Well, that sort of presumes that you've given it away. But, unfortunately, we probably all have at one time or another. At least I should speak for myself. Now, we might say to ourselves, how did that happen? How did I interact with people so that I felt depleted? I felt less confident. I felt less energy, because it's also your physical energy that's being drained. And yet we don't have too many societal uh, ideas that would help us not give away our power. For example, if somebody came up to your car and they siphoned off your gasoline, there would be no question. You would be like, get away from my car. If somebody came up to your ATM and took your money, no question, you would immediately report it and get your money back. So why is it with our own energy, our spiritual energy, our emotional energy, our physical energy, do we let it go? Let it go to different people, different situations, maybe a job, a relative, a marriage, a child. Usually what happens is we get triggered by an emotion, and the emotions can vary. We can get drained by a lot of different things. One of the most common things to drain us is a fearful relationship. Fear coming into any pattern, such as we're afraid to lose a job. We're afraid to lose the love of a certain person. It can be an actual person in our life, maybe in our childhood, that created fear of physical abuse, emotional abuse, where we started reacting out of fear. But there's other kinds of relationships that can drain us. We can feel guilt, we can feel shame, we can feel obligation to someone. There's some relationships that continue over decades where we think, oh, I've got to do this for this person. Now, maybe we're in a life where, yeah, we have to do this for this person. But at the same time, we can use some spiritual tools to go around people and protect ourselves so that even if we're around someone, even if we feel obligated, we still don't have to feel drained. And those are the kinds of exercises that we're both going to be teaching today. Jim will have a lot of exercises on how not to be triggered and how to maintain your energy. I'm going to have a meditation on how to cut cords with someone that you feel could be draining your energy. Now, remember, we can cut cords with somebody who's dead. Now, that may sound, kind of weird, but we might have had an experience with someone that left us feeling inferior or challenged or unhappy or inadequate, even afraid, and that person may have been dead 10, 20, 30 years. In my kind of business, in my world, I have to say, I don't think people are ever really dead. They're just sort of invisible. So I think maybe that's why you can still have cords to someone who's passed over, because they're still there. And until we cut them, we don't want to be drained. We don't want to be drained by memories. We don't want to be drained by how someone thought about us or talked to us, a long time ago. So as we get into the meditation I'm going to be leading, remember that as I say to think of a person that you want to cut cords with, they can be passed over. They can be, if they're still alive, they could be in the past, but you may still not have felt complete with that person. Now, there's a certain kind of cord where we may be connected to a person that we love. They may drain us in a certain way. And I'll give you an example. I grew up with my grandmother, and I really loved her. I love her now, even though, she's passed. But she would intimidate me. She would make me feel that I couldn't really speak up. I couldn't use my voice. She could be very critical. Fortunately, when she was alive, I learned how to cut cords, and I emotionally did cut that cord. So it had a benefit for both of us. I learned how to speak up better to her. She kind of pulled back and became less critical, because for both of us, because we loved each other, our goal was to connect better. So don't be afraid to cut a cord with somebody that you live with every day. Don't be afraid to cut a cord with someone who's very cherished to you, like a child or a parent or a mate, because cutting of the cords can actually heal both people. Now, if you're cutting a cord with somebody you just don't plain like, or somebody who's difficult, remember your angels are in charge. So if there's somebody in your life that's really bothering you, remember when you cut a cord, your angels will sort of move them away from you. Now, that may seem a bit tricky, but actually I see that all the time, because I do sessions with people. I cut cords for them. And it's really weird. If there's somebody really upsetting somebody, I cut a cord, and then suddenly, maybe in a week or two, something happens. Either the relationship can get less potent, less difficult. In case of a work relationship, the person might get moved to another department. I've had situations where I cut a cord with a difficult boss, and suddenly the boss announced they were leaving. Now, of course, I'm not trying to do that, because in this work we use light, and we're really just trying to bring light to everything. In other words, we're not trying to magically put a hex on anybody. What we're trying to do is bring enough light to the situation so that it just gets less negative. It gets less negative for us. It gets less negative for the other person. If there's tremendous negativity coming to us from another person, we simply protect ourselves with light. Now we're going to come to a part of the meditation where I talk about your energy field. And I want you to be aware that this is something you can do every day. And these little energy exercises may seem, a little silly, but actually they work. Just visualizing light around you that protects you, is going to really help you in any situation. If you're about to get on a phone call where you feel a little threatened by somebody or just bored by somebody, if you're about to go into a meeting where you have to defend yourself, even if you're just about to go to a job where you feel a little protection is needed, just get off by yourself and imagine this beautiful energy field around you of light. It sounds kind of silly and easy, but it actually works. It actually works. And the more you concentrate on that, the more you get a little protection up for everything that you do in life. Even if you're just going out to the grocery store, the results are pretty amazing because you will feel more energy. Now, going back to that analogy of that you wouldn't let anybody take gasoline from your car or money from your account. As we work with energy, it's really energy. So in other words, if you're in a situation with a lot of draining experience for yourself, a lot of people around you that you feel drained by, you're going to feel less energy. It goes right to your energy field. You're actually going to feel more tired. You may feel more upset. Your mind may be more confused. You can't really figure out your problems. Now, that is just because somebody's taking your energy. So as we learn to hold on to our energy, to protect our energy, we're going to notice the opposite. We're going to notice that we're actually feeling more physical energy. We're going to feel more health. Less things are going to go wrong in our physical body. We're going to feel more clarity in our mind. And actually, we're probably going to have more money. If you really pay attention to holding on to your energy, if you really use light every day and imagine a light field around you, oddly enough, you're going to have more money or more financial security. Why is that? It's because, I've tried to manifest money, and early on, I realized that money was energy. It's really hard to manifest it because it just flows along with all the energy that's flowing in our life. So if we have a good energy flow, if we're not being drained all over the place, then money is going to flow in easily and naturally. If we're being drained all the time, if we're giving up too much of our energy, if we think we have to rescue this person or that person or stay in a job we don't like, it's amazing how our money starts to dwindle. It's just because of our energy. If we think of ourselves simply as an energy machine, we'll stop taking things personally that people try to put on us, like fear, anger, rage, obligation, duty, guilt, shame. All of those are things that people put on us to try to get us to do things or to be controlled by them. If we just see that for what it is, oh, somebody's trying to get my energy, and we don't necessarily go down the rabbit hole and believe what they say, then we'll see, okay, I'm going to be around this person today. I better put up a little more protection. I don't want them to take my energy. You can do that even if the person lives in the next room in your house, because you're always paying attention to your energy and you're always paying attention to your well-being. Now, I know a lot of us in spiritual work, we want to be healers, we're empaths. We always want to help the other guy first. There's nothing wrong with that. We're unselfish. Hello, that's a good thing. But we have to remember that the most important thing is to keep ourselves whole first, to keep ourselves energized, to not buy into other people's fear, anger, whatever they've got going, and to keep ourselves strong in our own energy. So if everybody's ready, I'm just going to start leading a meditation. One of the first things in this meditation will be the energy field. So I want you to pay attention to that. Then we're going to go into the part of the meditation, which is about cutting cords with people. Again, I want you to just choose people that seem to drain you, seem to upset you, and just stay completely open, because we're going to let the light do the work. We aren't going to say, oh, I hate my Uncle Harry. I want to just never see him again. No, it's more like, let's send light to this situation. Let's see how the light can solve this for both of us, if that makes sense. So if everybody's ready, I want you to close your eyes and take a deep breath. Let's just take another deep, deep breath. Just pull that air all the way down into your body. Right now, we're just feeling our breath. We're feeling how our body feels today. This time, when you pull in a deep breath, pull it down through your chest, pull it down through your belly, pull it all the way down to your toes. Our whole body is filled with this beautiful oxygen, this beautiful air. And really, we're always filled with energy. If you put your hand on your pulse, there's always energy there. If you follow your breathing, there's always energy coming in and out. We're always filled with divine energy. Now, this time when you take a deep breath, I want you to pull it way in, and I want you to hold it for a moment, just a long second of stillness. So breathe in, hold it. Breathe out. Let's do that again. Let's take a deep breath in. Hold the breath. Blow it out. Feel the stillness in your body when you're not breathing in and you're not breathing out. You're just completely still. Let's do that one more time. Take a deep breath in. Hold the breath. Just breathe it out when you feel ready. Now we're going to roll our head on our neck. So we're just letting our head go. And we're just rolling around. We're stretching our neck, relaxing our neck. That feels good, doesn't it? We hold so much tension in our neck. Just rolling around. Let's go the opposite direction. Again, you're just rolling your neck. It's loose and limp. Loose and limp. If there's any stiff places or pain in your neck, just roll very gently. Just stretch your neck. Now let's sit up straight. Now we're going to press our shoulders right up under our ears. We're actually going to be as tense as we possibly can be. So just press those shoulders, press them harder and harder and harder. Now let them drop. Let's do that one more time. Just press your shoulders up. Feel all this tension in your shoulders, your neck. Press. Now let them drop. Now we're going to raise our hands to the ceiling. We're stretching from our lower back up through our shoulders, our elbows, our hands. Stretch a little bit more. We feel this huge stretch in the whole upper part of our body. Stretching a little bit more. Now our hands are floating down very slowly, like two snowflakes. It's because there's no weight in our hands, and it's very hard to pull them down because they're weightless. Our whole body is weightless. It's like a breeze could come along and blow us sideways because there's no gravity, there's no weight. We're just drifting. Just drifting. Feel so light and so free. Now, if you're sitting down, I want you to rotate on your hips. If you're lying down, I just want you to feel this kind of energy in your root chakra, your hip area. If you're sitting, we lean forward, we lean to the side, we lean to the back, and we lean to the side. We're just stretching out our back, going around in a big, big circle. If there's any tension in your back, just roll right over it. Just allow yourself to relax and stretch. Now we're going to go the opposite direction. So let's roll around the other way. Just stretching your back. If you're lying down for meditation, just feel your back stretch. Stretch over to one hip and the other very gently, or just stretching that part of your body. Now we're back to stillness. I want you to take a moment and feel your body. Do you feel any energy in your body? Does it feel a little bit warmer? Do you have aches and pains today? Do you feel blocked in some areas? Let's turn our attention on that and just see how you feel. Now we're going to call in the light. I want you to imagine a bright, bright light coming down through the top of your head, filling your body, rushing down your legs, rushing down your arms, swirling around your heart. So much light, so much energy. This is your chi, your life force energy. It's always moving through us, but it's light. It's dancing around just like champagne. It's effervescent. We may not even know it's there, and yet it's always there, pulsing through us. I want you to imagine it gathering in your heart. Your heart is feeling so warm. It's so full of energy. This beautiful light we're calling in the name of God, Creator, Great Spirit. We're calling in your guides and your angels so that you can be filled with light, so that you can be healed today, so they can direct you to wisdom, to healing, to anything you need to really transform in this light today. There's so much light in your heart that now it flows outside of you and creates this energy field all around you. You can see this energy field as a light. If you have a hard time visualizing things, just say to yourself, I call in energy to create my energy field. You can just say that to yourself in your mind. Or you can say, I call in my angels to create a strong energy field around me. Let's do that now. Sometimes our energy field is very thin, like almost at our skin, because we feel very battered by the world. Other times we're full of confidence. It almost billows out around us, and we feel very protected. One of the most important things is to maybe have an image for yourself, whether you're in a pod of light, a cocoon of light, you're a light bulb with a glass wall. You could be a bubble of light or a ball of light, but you're inside, you're completely protected. So let's think about what image that might be for you. And again, if you're not good with images, just proclaim it to yourself. All it takes is a simple declaration. I call in my angels and I ask them to create a strong energy field. So let's look around our energy field right now and just feel it if we can. You don't have to be visual for any of this to work. You can simply say the words to yourself in a very easy way. It doesn't have to be some big prayer or mantra, and it will still work. The important part is you put your attention on your energy field, just as we put our attention on all the different things we're going to be doing in these meditations. That's all it takes. Now we're going to just feel a little bit more energy in our body. So I want you to go to your heart, just right there into your heart, feel your heart. Even put your hands and press on your heart if you have a hard time visualizing. Our heart is like a generator of chi. It's a generator of life force energy. That means that every moment of happiness, of joy, even quiet contentment creates more energy, creates more chi. And your heart is like a storehouse of that. Now, that can include even thoughts, plans for the future, memories, anything that makes you feel good, anything that makes you feel connected and safe. And I want you to think back of the last 2 weeks. If there's nothing in the last 2 weeks, just keep going back until you have some really good, happy feelings. And I want you to just focus on those. Focus on how they feel in your heart. Now, did you all feel what that happiness, that joy, or even just contentment felt like in your heart? We can go back to that every day when we're upset, when we're troubled, if we feel overwhelmed by negative emotions. Just ask the light to come in, feel the light, or just simply call it in your head. Try to go to your heart and just think about some of those moments, that happiness, that simple contentment. Try to find an image that just brings you back to that, because that's always going to center you and it's going to ground you. We all have a right to happiness. We all have a right to joy. That's our connection to spirit. It's our connection to our own health. It's our connection to manifesting what we want in our life. And really, nobody can take that away from us. That's the whole point of taking our power back, is that whatever messages we're getting from other people, if they would be anything other than happiness for ourselves, we kind of don't have to listen. I know that sounds weird, but it's true. Now we're going to give ourselves a little bit more chi, a little bit more life force energy before we go into our next meditation. So I want you to put your hands out in front of your heart, palms up, just like somebody was going to put an apple or an orange in your hands. Except it's a ball of energy, it's a ball of light. Now, can you feel that energy? Can you feel that light? Sometimes you can just feel a little friction between your hands. You can feel heat or warmth. You can pull them back and you can still feel that heat or warmth. If you're very visual, you might see light. You might see a different color. You might have a different feeling there. Let's just focus on that for a moment. So we say to ourselves, dearest God, Creator, I accept this gift of love that you're giving me today. Put your attention back on the ball of light. This is a gift for you today, a gift of love. How does it feel now? Is it heavy? Is it light? Is it a color? Is it warm? Is it getting bigger or smaller? Let's focus on this for a moment. If you're having trouble visualizing anything, we just proclaim there is a ball of energy and love in our hands. We just say so. We call in our guides and angels. They create it even if we can't feel or see anything. Now I want you to press that ball of light right into your heart. What does that feel like? We say to ourselves, I receive it in my heart and in my life. Now let's put your hands out one more time. There's another ball of light in your hands, another ball of energy. When it comes to energy, just go with your own feelings. If you're feeling energy, if you see light, it will teach you, it will guide you in terms of how you perceive it. So just take a moment to feel it. Now, this energy, this light, is a gift to you from the universe today. So it's specific to you. It could be the answer to a certain problem. It could be a shift in a relationship. It could be prosperity. It could be an insight. It could be patience. It could be joy. What is this special gift that the universe is giving you today? Can you perceive anything about this? Again, we say to ourselves, dearest God, Creator, I accept this gift that you're giving me today. It's very important to always receive. Let's take our attention back on this energy. Again, is there a message there? Is there a color? Is it heavy? Is it light? Is it warm? Is it getting hotter or bigger? I want you to take this gift, this energy, put it right into your heart. Actually press that energy into your heart. See if it feels like anything. Do you feel that energy come into your heart? Do you feel a warmth? Now we say to ourselves, I receive it in my heart and in my life. We've accepted it now. Accepted this gift from the universe. Feel all that warmth in your heart. Feel all that warmth going through your body. Now let's take a deep breath. In the middle of that beautiful light in your heart, that beautiful golden light, your soul is going to take a walk. Your soul walks out of your heart on a golden path. You feel free, you feel full of energy, you feel alive. The path is gold right underneath your feet. You're walking forward out into the mist, out into this beautiful golden landscape. You notice after a while that you're going through a meadow. There's grass, there's little flowers in the grass. You're walking right across the grass, but there's trees at the edge. Maybe a wind is blowing. You hear the birds. You hear the birds in the trees. There's a stream next to you. You hear the gurgle of the stream. You're just walking along. You feel peaceful. You feel safe. As you get out into the middle of this meadow, you're noticing that the sky is starting to fill up with clouds. So you decide to walk a little closer to the forest. But you're walking along feeling good. The wind is picking up though. And suddenly the sun goes under a cloud. You're wondering, does this mean it's going to rain? You're getting closer to the trees, and the forest looks pretty dark. The trees are tall, they're pine trees. You go in amongst the pine trees just as it's starting to sprinkle. There are pine needles underfoot, they're springy. You keep walking through the pine trees, but now the sky's all dark and it's really starting to rain. And as you walk through the forest, you're coming to a road that goes through the forest. And right off the road, there's a house. Funny thing about this house is it looks kind of familiar. But it's raining so hard now that you think, I'd better just run onto this house. I'd better go up into this porch and get out of the rain. So you run across the lawn, you run up the stairs onto this wooden porch. The rain is just pelting down now. You knock at the door. You want to get out of the wet, but nobody's answering the door. And then you realize the door's open, it pushes open, and you walk inside this house. There's a fire going in the fireplace. It's much warmer. You pull yourself into the house and you start calling out, who's there? You want to come in, you want to dry off. There must be somebody in the house, but you can't see anybody. There's a big stairway that goes up. from the dining room, a wooden stair, and you think, okay, maybe the people are upstairs. So you walk up the stairs, you're still calling out, is anybody here? Is anybody home? Get to the top of the stairs, and ahead of you is a broad hallway with many doors coming onto the hallway. They must be bedrooms or bathrooms. So you try the first door. Maybe it's a bathroom where you can dry yourself off. You walk into the room, and there you see in a rocking chair, sitting with their back to you, looking out the window, there's a person. Now, they didn't turn around when you came in. They didn't call out when you called out, but it's someone you know. This is someone who you have mixed feelings about, someone you might have been a little afraid of or in conflict with. And yet they're not turning around. You know it's them. We're approaching them as a soul, and we're approaching their soul. So if they don't know you're in the room yet, how do you feel when you're in their presence? They're right in front of you now. How do you feel? Do you feel a little afraid? Do you feel your throat closing off? Do you feel pressure in your heart? Do you feel your stomach start to get nervous? Or do you feel angry? How do you feel? You walk forward, and now the person sees you and gets out of the rocking chair and stands and looks at you. How do you feel now? They're looking right at you, but it's their soul. If you have any problems or anger or fear, remember your angels are standing right next to you. This is their soul that's looking at you, so you're completely safe. But how do you feel in their presence? If they're past, how do you feel seeing them after such a long time? Now your angels are by your side. I want you to talk to this person and tell them exactly how you feel. You're completely protected. I want you to get it off your chest or to express exactly how they make you feel. Remember, you're completely protected and you're talking to their soul. Their soul will never hurt you. But if you could say something to this person, what would you say right now? You're both in light. Are you hearing them say anything back to you? Remember, you're protected. They might be telling you why they acted the way they did. They might be asking your forgiveness. Are they saying anything back to you? Are you ready to forgive this person? Now, you don't have to be. It's okay. But if you are ready to forgive them, you can tell them that you do forgive them. Remember, forgiveness is more, I'm ready to move forward into the future. I'm ready to end this karma. I'm ready to let it go. If there's any cord between you and this person, that cord is cut now. That karma has healed now and is ended now. Now this person reaches forward with some light. You have the choice of putting this light in your heart as their final gift to you, or as an ongoing gift if they're still in your life. You don't have to accept the light if it doesn't feel right to you. Now they turn back. They turn back and sit in the rocking chair again with their back to you, and your angel leads you to the door. You feel complete. You're releasing any negative connection between the two of you. Imagine that you have a net on you of old energy, and your angel is now just pulling that net off of you. It comes completely off of you and it just drops to the floor. It's finished. Now your angel is leading you out the door, and you shut the door behind you. You're walking down the hall again. It's clearly a magical house where you can let go of a lot of old things that have been troubling you. You go to another door, another bedroom, another bathroom. You open the door. Sure enough, there's somebody else. They're lying on the bed and they're asleep. I want you to look at them. I want you to look at their sleeping form. How do you feel in their presence? This might be someone that you've always wanted to fix something with, change something with, even tell them how you feel. Remember, these can be people that you love, but there might be unfinished business or things that were confusing or conflicting. I want you to look at their face as they lie on the bed. How do you feel looking at them right now? What are you feeling? Now they're slowly opening their eyes and they're looking at you. Remember, it's their soul. They can't hurt you, but you may want to talk to them. This is your moment now to tell them exactly how you feel. They aren't going to hurt you. Your angels are right here to help you. Maybe you want to tell them what you feel. Now remember, it's your soul talking to theirs. Is there anything they're saying back to you? Are they explaining how they felt? Are they explaining what happened at a certain time where you misunderstood them? Or are they simply apologizing? Do you want to listen to them now? Now, this person is asking you to forgive them. You might ask them to forgive you. Remember, you don't have to forgive them, but it is a way of letting go and moving on. Only do what's comfortable for you. Now, out of the light of their heart, they're giving you a little bit of light as a gift. Do you want to put that in your heart? Again, you don't have to. An angel is stepping forward to cut the cord between the two of you. If it's just one cord that's negative and you have unconditional love with this person, rest assured that the angel will only trim away what's negative. If you really wish to be separate and this person more of a memory, then let the angel cut all the cord. If you're having a hard time visualizing any of this, just know your intention to have an angel cut the cord between you and to release all negativity between you is happening right now. Now they close their eyes. They're going back to sleep, and your angel is pulling you now towards the door. Right by the door, your angel helps you take off the net of old negativity, old memories, old handicaps or hardships. It's all being pulled off of you and falling to the floor at your feet. The angel takes you out of the door and you shut the door behind you. Now, down at the end of the hall, there's one more door. Your angel takes you through this door. Once again, there's a person from your life standing in front of the fireplace. Their back is to you. Now, this is someone who's created a lot of conflict or negativity in your life. Take a look at them. What do you feel when you see them? Now they turn around and they look at you. Remember, you're completely protected. Your angels are here. It's just their soul. But what would you say to them? What would you say that would be the most honest thing you could say to them? Why don't you say that now? Do you want to ask them a question? Ask them a question. You're being completely protected by your angel. What are they saying back to you? Are they asking your forgiveness? Once again, it's up to you to accept it. They're giving you a little gift of light from their own heart. Yes, even someone you've had a lot of difficulties with, we're all souls. You may be accepting the better part of them or the part of them that you were attracted to when you first thought they were an okay person. Again, you don't have to accept it, but this is just light. We're protected by light. We're receiving light. We're putting light in the whole situation. And now the angels step in and cut all the cords between you, all the negative cords. They turn back around, looking at the fire. Their back is to you, and your angel leads you towards the door. With a huge relief, you take off that net of old memories, old hurts, old experiences, and just let it drop to the floor. You're completely free of it now. Your angel takes you out of the room and shuts the door firmly behind you. That part of your life is over. You're completely healed. You walk down the long hallway, down the stairway, back into the living room. You look out the windows and you realize the rain has stopped. You go to the door, you walk out of the door onto the porch. Now you walk into the forest, leaving the house behind. The wind is blowing, but it's blowing away the clouds. The sun is coming out. You get to the meadow, you look behind to the house, which is a strangely familiar house. And now it just dissolves in light. Now there's nothing but the trees there. It's all gone. You walk through the meadow now. The sun is out, the birds are singing. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. The path is golden beneath your feet. And that beautiful gold light and gold energy leads you right back into your heart. Let's take a moment to feel your heart. Feel the warmth and the safety and protection of your heart. And we're calling on your guides and your angels to make this healing complete, to help you let go of all negative energy, to completely fill yourself with light, to allow yourself that light to guide you every single day. And any wisdom from these situations will filter in slowly over the next few weeks as you heal. Take a breath. Take another deep, deep breath. When you feel ready, just open your eyes and come back to the room. Now we're going to have a break. You can write down any of the thoughts you've had from this meditation and take a break. It's 3:04 now, Pacific time. We'll be coming back at 3:10 for Jim's meditation and for his energy exercises. So we'll see you then.
Oops. There we go. All right. Okay. So, all right. Welcome back. I hope everybody recovered from that meditation. It was really, I went through the meditation. I thought it was really powerful. Can you hear me, everybody? Good. All right. And it's amazing. I was talking to Abby in the break that when you run into someone, whether it's in real life or it's in your spiritual life, it activates all of the energy and all of the feelings in that relationship. And so you don't necessarily need to run into them in person, but you can recognize right away if they're still taking your power, if you still have an emotional charge, and you still need to keep cleansing it and healing it. And so, lately it's funny how life brings you lessons and you know, um, lately I've done a lot of one-on-one work with people, and I've recognized that, the way we get our power taken is that we make a choice based on a wound, based on, some kind of emotional wound or a perception that we hold within ourselves that isn't of our truth. And and it's like when I look back at my own life, I recognize that all the times I've given away my power, it's because I thought I needed something from someone, or I wanted them to like me or accept me or appreciate me or not to judge me or not to attack me, or just it's kind of a run of a thing. But it's like Abby said in her class, it's like, people will, people that aren't in their own power and they're not connected to their own power, they will try to manipulate you and control you into giving you your power, so that they have some power, right? It's like I knew a long time ago that people that weren't connected to light, and they didn't have that connection, they didn't have that ability to create and receive their own information, they had to learn how to use and manipulate other people in order to get it. And they do that by, tricking us into believing that we're not good enough and we need to prove ourselves to them, or, a myriad of other ways. But the reality is that, I was working with someone the other day and I realized that they had, like, they didn't believe they were good enough. And when I looked into that, what I saw was the reason they didn't believe they were good enough was because when they were a child, their parents projected all of their perceptions and expectations onto them of what they should be. And since they didn't fit that mold, they automatically, assumed that there was something wrong with them and they weren't good enough, rather than realizing that maybe this isn't who I'm supposed to be, right? But there becomes this stance to where at some level they tried to change themselves to meet their parents or their loved ones or their spouses' expectations in order to gain love, acceptance, and approval. Okay. And that's really the definition of giving away your power, because you start acting like someone else wants you to be versus who you are. And that always kind of creates a less than desirable outcome for you, because all your things are based on fear and not based on inspiration, right? I remember about 10 years ago, I was meditating and my guides came in and they said, give up the need to please the ego. And I was like, what do you mean? I was at that time I was running a fairly large company and I always wanted to I always wanted to help people, but underneath that, I always wanted recognition. I always wanted to look good. And I didn't realize that at the time. It was kind of unconscious. And since I was kind of denying it, I couldn't heal it. And so I kept, trying to look good, trying to please my employees, trying to, help them in a way. And there was a whole group of people that didn't really want that. And they would always just turn it against me and use it against me. And that's when my guides told me, don't try to please the ego because you'll never succeed. It'll always use it against you for its own good. And so I was like, okay, and I didn't think much of it. I just started saying the mantra, um, I let go of my need to please them, to gain their approval, to gain their acceptance. And it's weird how as you say that and you declare that, some magic happens in the ethers that kind of heals it all by itself. And eventually you realize that it's true for you now, right? So I'm going to fast forward a bit. And last week, Abby and I were in Sedona, and we found this vortex that we were meditating at. And, somehow when you go to these vortexes, it really is like a very strong connection between you and your soul to where you can get clear communication without any static, if you will. And so I was sitting there, and what I heard was that, by giving up the need for the ego's approval, you're now connected to that light of truth within you, and it always will bring good, and it always will supply you what you need, and it always will bring, it'll bring your finances, it'll bring your knowledge, it'll bring your wisdom, it'll bring whatever's needed in the moment, as long as you're connected to it. And I realized that that's true. And what brings us out of that is when we think that we need to get our things from the outside world, from something separate and apart from our own selves, right? And when we do that, we always end up compromising ourselves in order to get what we think we need. So, I had many experiences in my life where I knew I was giving away my power. I knew I was doing it, and I actually knew why I was doing it to a point, but I just let it keep going on and on and on. And because I was attached to the need for people's love and approval, I just kept giving away my power. So it was like, if I just do this one more time or one more time and one more time, I'm finally going to get the love and approval of someone. And it never worked. And it's not meant to work. All right. But what it does is it drains you because there's no return on your expenditure of energy. You're expending all this energy and you're trying to do things in order to get recognition or love or whatever. And it never happens. So there's no return of energy, and that depletes you, that drains your power. Right. And so when I finally realized that, I was like, okay. And I realized that the way you quit giving up your power is to, basically bring light in between you and that relationship, and let it sort things out before you even engage, right? So, let me think about this. Okay. So what the guides say is they say the way you quit giving up your power is you quit nurturing your wounds and reacting to your wounds. and trying to make the outside world different so you don't have to feel them. And instead, you really become present of what the wounds are that things are igniting in you. And you ask your guides and your angels and the light within you to heal those wounds so they no longer exist. Okay. And once that happens, you'll always speak your truth and you'll always live your truth without fear and without, all kinds of other mental chatter going on. But what they say is, in order to take back your power, you really need to start being present and aware of what's going on within you that causes you to choose to give up your power. Okay. And once you become present of that, the next step is to say, okay, I need help healing this. And there's a part within you that knows how to heal it. You can't heal it with your mind. It's like with Abby's meditation, she's bringing in the light beings and she's bringing in your guides and angels, and they're standing guard while you're going through the exercise. And there's healing going on at higher levels that you could never, ever be conscious of how it works. But as you do it, you realize it works. Okay. And that's really what you want to get into is in your relationships and in your job and, with your spouse, with your family members, really start paying attention to when you start feeling uncomfortable and you start to think about what you can do to make yourself to be less uncomfortable. Okay. And that's usually when we make compromises and we give up our power. Okay. So start really being present and just recognize, like for a while it was like, I remember one time I had to go meet with a lawyer. And at that time, I was running this company. It was a corporate lawyer, and I was in the middle of a lawsuit with these employees. And I had had a lawyer, and my spouse at that time did not like my lawyer. And she says, you need a really hardball lawyer, right? You need like a really bully lawyer. And I was like, well, I don't think so. And she's like, yeah, your lawyer's doing nothing. And so I met with the lawyer she wanted me to meet with, and I didn't feel good about him. He was just too much of an ego. And I know that ego, when someone's really in their ego, they're not really, doing light work. They're not really working from truth. They're working from a charge. And so I sat there and I realized that I really didn't care for this person. And my spouse at the time was like, well, we need to hire him. And I said, okay, that's fine. And so I chose to hire him. And I told the lawyer in the meeting, okay, I'll hire you, send me your retainer agreement, and blah, 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 blah. And I wasn't really conscious of it, but at some level, I knew I was doing it out of fear. And so I went back to my office, and the next day I had to bring a check down to them for about $5,000 for a retainer. And I called my controller, and I had her make out a check, and I went down there and I got up to the office door, and my guide stepped in and said, don't do this. And I was like, are you kidding me? Right? And it was like last minute, don't do this. And all of a sudden I felt all this emotion come up. So I walked out to my car and I sat in my car and I cleared the emotional charge. I just kind of cleared it. I was fearful, I was angry, I was frustrated. I was really upset with my guides for waiting to the last minute to tell me not to do it. And so I cleared all this stuff, and all you have to do to clear that stuff is call in your guides and angels and call in the divine, and then give it to them and ask them to take it from you. Like whatever's going on, and you just ask them to take it out of you and ask them to lead, guide, and direct you. And so I did. And after about 5 minutes, I felt at peace. And then I asked my guides this question. I said, is it going to be catastrophic if I say yes and I take this lawyer? And they said, no. They said it'll cost you money, but it won't hurt you. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to take the lawyer then, because I said I would. All right. Yeah. And I was really afraid of li living in my truth because I didn't want the punishment that would come from going back on my word. And that was a weakness of mine. So that's my truth, right? So I took the lawyer and ended up spending $70,000 before I fired him and got nothing out of it. Okay. So it was an expensive lesson, but it was a lesson. And those lessons they're probably worth the price they pay because, in the future, when that something similar happened to that, I might go days clearing it until I was absolutely at peace and I cleared the fear that was creating it in me. And then I'd be at peace with that. And then I could speak my truth without any fear and make the correct choice for me. And that was always healing. And once you go through that once with a charge, you'll never give away your power to avoid that feeling again. Right. So, the exercise that I would suggest for that is when you feel an emotional charge of like fear or anger or helplessness or something like that, and it's based on some kind of relationship or a job or something like that, really get curious with it and really be honest with yourself about what's going on in you. And then the next step is to really call in your guides and angels and that light within you that's all knowing and all loving and knows how to solve any problem you face. And then ask it to help you heal this and correct it to where you can live in your truth. And you don't need to know how it happens, but it will happen. Okay. And as that happens and you are at peace, you've automatically taken your power back. Okay. But some of the things that might get healed in you is like, let's say you're in a relationship and you're stuck in the relationship because you think you need the financial support. Well, be honest with it and just say, look, I'm in this relationship because I can't support myself. Right. And then go to your guides and angels and just say, please help me to heal this. Please help me to understand it. And please help me to have the support I need to where I can be free. And know that that support's going to come from the light that's within you. And it's going to free you of being like enslaved or losing your freedom in order to get supplies somewhere. Okay. But these are all like, it goes back to whenever you feel like some kind of a strong emotion, know that that's going to tempt you to make a decision, in the outside world to maybe compromise what you want in order to feel at peace. But know if you do that, it's only going to be temporary. It's going to come back again and again and again. It just keeps happening. Okay. If people bully you, they're going to keep bullying you until you learn how to stand up for yourself. And that was definitely one of my lessons. Right. But it goes back to, when someone tempts you to give away your power, really go in and be present with what's going on in you. Okay. Really be present. And what I've found is a lot of the main culprits are, the need for their approval. And I see that over and over again when I work with people. It's they've completely positioned themselves to where if X person likes them and are happy with them, then they're good enough. And if X person doesn't like them and aren't happy, something's wrong with them and they need to be better. Okay. And that's like an ongoing thing, but it only happens between egos. Okay. The divine loves you just the way you are. And if you can recognize that and tune into it, you're going to be more of what you need to be. Okay. So in your relationships, try to start using your guides and the light beings and the divine within you to filter all of them. And just do something simple like, I give you my relationship with my spouse. Please bring to it what is needed for both of our highest and best goods and for our highest evolution. Please help us to heal each other and heal ourselves. Okay. And then automatically from a higher level, you'll start getting guidance, you'll start getting inspiration. You know, if the relationship's not good, it might even start to dissolve, but that's okay, right? Something better will come. That's how it works. But where you lose your power is when you get attached to a certain outcome and it has to be a certain way. And that may not be in alignment with your highest good, but you keep trying to pursue it, right? Like I was working with somebody that needed her father's love and approval, and he wasn't even able to love, right? He was so blocked with his own wounds that he couldn't love anybody. And she blamed herself and kept trying to do harder and better and harder and better. And she just got punished. And the reality is, you know, she needs to learn, you know, the lesson for her was what I was taught was to teach her to love herself and approve of herself. And then she wouldn't need other people's love and approval and she could go on, right? And that brought her back into her power. It brought her back into freedom in a way. Okay. So let me check in. Yeah. So the first thing is when you feel a sense of drain on your power, when you feel someone outside of you is taking your power, really get curious about it and really ask your guides and angels to show you what's happening and to show you what's going on in yourself to where you'd even be tempted to give away your power. Okay. And then once you get clear on that, don't worry about it because you don't have to heal it. The next step is to ask your guides and angels to help you heal it day and night until it's completely transformed and completely healed in you. And it will be. Sometimes it just takes time. And the second thing my guides are saying is to give permission to let go of any expectations you hold in those relationships that maybe no longer serve you. Okay. Just let go of how you think things should end up and just let it unfold. Okay. And then the next step is whenever you go into that experience, like let's say it's a job that keeps taking your power. Whenever you go into that job, call your guides and angels in and give them permission to lead you through your day at that job. Permission is really key because if you give them permission to heal you and give you what you need for your highest good throughout your day at your job, they will do it. But if you don't give them permission, they won't. Okay. And they know how to take you from a place of losing your power to regaining your power. And you can simply even ask them, you know, please help me to take my power back from this person. Okay. You know, some of the things that come to mind is, you know, if you're fighting with someone to prove that you need to be right or they to prove them wrong, that's going to take your power. Give up the need to fight. It doesn't matter. You don't need their agreement. Okay. Bottom line is that drains your power. And the other things that really drain power in relationships are having an expectation of your partner that they need to be a certain way. Okay. When you expect them to be a certain way, you're not allowing them to be who they are. And that's going to bring up a lot of charges in you and a lot of ways where you think you need to micromanage them, which drains your power. Okay. It also lets them control you, actually. Okay. So just, you know, you don't need to know the details of it, but just call in your guides and angels and say, I consciously choose to release any expectations I have of this person. Okay. How they should be, how they should act, what they should do for me. Okay. Let them be who they are. And if they're not right for you, then ask the divine to bring someone in who is. Okay. But really start using light as a tool, because the light within you is all knowing, and it knows what your soul's here for. It knows your life's purpose. It knows what relationships serve you. It knows what relationships are taking your power. And if you just simply ask that light to please start to dissolve the relationships in my life that are draining me, and start dissolving the patterns in my mind that are draining me, and the thoughts that are draining me, and the expectations that are draining me, it'll start to happen without you having to manage it. Okay. So, I mean, the bottom line is that at some level, people might tempt us to give us their power, but we have to choose to let it go and give it to them. And you got to realize that you're in charge of that. And it's not, someone can't take it against your will. Okay. You have to like recognize that even if someone's bullying you, at some point you have the power to give in or not. Okay. You also have the power to choose to walk away. Okay. Anyway, so I want to do a quick meditation and just bring some healing light to any relationships that you think are stripping your power, or jobs, or lessons that might be taking your power. Okay. And we'll see where it goes. All right. Okay. So what I want you to do is just close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And I want you to call in the divine light within you, that all-knowing light that's all loving, that's kind, that only wants you to experience things of joy, things of love, things that are meaningful to you and fulfilling to you. I want you just to connect with your highest self, the truth of who you are. And some of you might feel the energy, the connection of that energy. You might feel expanded. And just open yourself to it, because it knows how to heal you without you taking any thought. And just let it come in. Some of you might have it come in through the top of your head and just fill your whole body. And I want you to let it fill your heart. And then I want you to let it fill your room. And just relax, let it take charge. Now I want you to put your hands out in front of you and just allow this light to form a big ball of light out in front of you. And now I want you to call your guides and angels into this ball of light. These beings that are here to lead you, guide you, direct you, protect you, and help you to evolve and heal. And ask them to help you in this exercise. And now I want you to look through your relationships and find a relationship to where you've tried and tried and tried to please this person or get their love or get their approval or get their acceptance or get them to recognize you. I want you to find a relationship that you've tried really hard and never been able to get harmony or peace in the relationship. And I want you to call that person into this light. And you might notice the feelings that come alive in you when this person comes into the light. Maybe old, unresolved frustration, anger. Maybe feelings associated with expectations you've had of them that never became fulfilled. Maybe sadness. Just allow these emotions to come up. And just embrace them. Feelings can't hurt you. They're just feelings, they're just energy. And just allow them to come up. And I want you to allow these emotions to go into this ball of light. Just let the light pull these emotions out of you and pull the thoughts associated with emotions out of you. Just let it go. Just breathe in pure light. And when you breathe out, just release any old emotions regarding this relationship that no longer serve you. And now, is it okay to turn to the light and give the light your expectations of this person, of how they should be, of how they should treat you? Is it okay to let go of any expectations you've held of them? And return those expectations to the divine. And just let the divine pull it out of you and heal them. And if that's okay, just give the divine permission now to remove any expectations that you hold about this person. How you think they should have been. How you think they should be. Just give that to the divine along with all of the results. And now I want you to ask the divine to remove from them any expectations or desires they've held against you that's caused you to drain your power, that's caused you to be in reaction or defense to them. Just ask the divine to pull that out of them and pull it out of your relationship with them. Now I want you to release to the divine, if it's okay with you, any need or desire for their love, for their approval, and for their acceptance. Just let go of it. Just give that to the divine. And ask the divine to take that out of you and to heal all of your thoughts associated with it, all your desires associated with it, all your expectations associated with it. Just let it go. And I want you to let go of any thoughts or perceptions you have that would make you believe that if they didn't love, appreciate, or accepted you, then there's something wrong with you and that you failed. Release any perceptions that if someone doesn't love you or show you appreciation or recognition or acceptance, that there's something wrong with you. Just let that go into the light and ask the divine to heal that within you so that you can be yourself. And now I want you to give to the divine any thoughts or perceptions that you have to where you believe that you're responsible for them, or that you're responsible for how they feel. Ask the divine to take that out of you now. And ask the divine to be responsible for them and to take care of them and to guide them for their best and highest good. And now you might ask the divine to help both of you to forgive each other completely and totally for any ways you hurt each other or hurt yourselves, and to protect you from this day forward from hurting each other or hurting yourselves, and to bring into this relationship what is highest for your highest and best good. And that everything that comes through this relationship comes from the light of truth, the light of love. And now ask the divine to help you to learn how to love yourself, to bring things in your life that allow you to experience love, and then to share that love with others. The important thing to recognize is that love doesn't come from outside of you. It's something that arises within you when you do something that you love, when you do something that's meaningful to you. So let love be your guide and start to choose things that bring a sense of love alive in you, a sense of meaningfulness, a sense of joyfulness. And then share that with the people in your life. Now I want you to turn back to this person that you invited into this ball of light. And I want you to thank them for the lessons they've taught you. If you feel that it's appropriate, just thank them for teaching you the lessons they've taught you. And you might ask your guides and angels over the next few days to really help you to become aware of the lessons that you learned in this relationship and the evolution and the growth that took place from those lessons. And then thank your guides and angels for always being here for you. And really invite them to continuously heal your thoughts, to continuously guide you to have right thought and right actions. And to help you to let go of anything that's in your life that doesn't serve you any longer. When we hang on to things in life that don't serve us, it does take our power. It does drain us. So just ask your guides to help you to know the difference. Know when it's time to let go of something. Now allow this person you called into the light to return back up to source and ask the divine to lead them, to guide them, to direct them, to protect them, and to bless them with what they need for their highest good. Let the divine be responsible for them. And then you can let go of the burden of being responsible for them. When you feel complete, just take a deep breath and come back to the present moment. Okay, Abby, you're unmuted now, or you should be. No? Let me try it again.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
All right.
Well, that
Anyway,
was a wonderful, wonderful meditation, Jim.
thank you.
And so now I guess we're just asking if anyone has any questions about either the meditations I did or Jim, or anything you'd like to share.
Yeah. Or anything that if you have any questions on, just become aware of other things that might be taking your power, share it, because whatever you share is usually universal and it helps everybody on the class. So whatever you feel like sharing or commenting on or questions, please share. Anyone?
Just so you know, this class will be in a recording form. You can access it on www.infinitelight.me, and it will be on YouTube. So if you want to do those meditations again, as many times as you want, or we also have other classes that you may have joined that are available in those places.
Yeah, and the other thing is if anybody wants to share, just raise your Zoom hand and we'll unmute you. But aside from that, did anybody feel like they let go of something today that they didn't want to hang on to anymore anyway.
I did.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. You notice these relationships we have, when there's discourse, there's always energy stuck in us. And these exercises, these meditations, they actually start to lift out some of this old energy, this blocked energy, and heal it. Once it's removed from us, it's automatically transformed. So pay attention to when stuff brings up negativity in you, and just immediately turn to the divine and just say, hey, please take this from me and please help me heal it. And it knows how to take you the next steps. Okay. Anyway,
Well, looks like on chat we've got some wonderful thank yous, and so I'm glad the meditations really worked for everybody.
yeah. Yeah. I think we're doing the next class in September on Zoom.
No, there's one more in May.
Okay.
It's going to be in May. There's going to be Mother's Day, which I can't remember which weekend that is. So this Zoom class will be the weekend after the Mother's Day weekend, for obvious reasons. Everybody will be busy on Mother's Day. So, and I don't know the topic yet, but I'm sure our guides will tell us soon.
Let's hope.
Let's hope, yeah.
Anyway, and then again, we're going to be in Ireland, and if anybody wants to just go and experience some very beautiful nature settings and go into these powerful vortexes that really actually raise frequency. I mean, last year we went to Ireland and I came back and I just felt different, perceived things different, and I was changed for the better, and I didn't understand how it happened. It wasn't really by teaching, it was about connecting to energy and just getting some distance for a while to where when I came back, my perceptions were clear. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew my next steps in life. And sometimes we just need a break, right? So that's coming up next month. And Abby has it planned out to where we stay in some beautiful places, we eat at some very nice places, and we visit some really powerful spiritual places. And it's just kind of a relaxing spiritual vacation, if you will. So anybody interested, go to the website and it kind of shows you where we're going. And you would go to the events page and just go to Ireland. Okay.
It's not going to be like a class every day either. It is a vacation. So we're experiencing a new place. We're going to stone circles. We might meditate at the stone circle, but it's not like one of our seminars where it's just very intense class. It's more allowing spirit to come to us through sort of the beauty of the place and these interesting places we go to.
Yeah. It really opens up your relationship to connecting to spirit through nature, through very powerful vortexes in nature. But you receive the lessons within yourself. It's not something taught to you, which is really kind of neat. And also, if there's anything you need to let go of, it's a good place to go take it and have it taken out of you. So it works. Anyway, but thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you. If you want to go to our YouTube class, you can, our YouTube channel, it's Infinite Light LLC. I think you can get to it through our website, and you can look at probably 6 or 7 past classes on that now. And we're going to keep adding more and more meditations. So
Great to see everybody. Great to see you, Helen, and everybody. Christine, thanks so much for joining us today, and hope to see you in May.
yeah, thank you very much.